football, so we'll welcome him in. How you doing this morning, Coach?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Hey, thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
No problem.
Want to check in with you guys. See you're off to a 4-1 start. Got a big homecoming game today. What's been the key this season?
Well, I think our young quarterback, Dante Pinkney, who's a redshirt sophomore, has played really, really well for us. And, anytime you have a quarterback that plays at a high level, you're going to be pretty successful. We've limited with what he's been able to do, but he's done a really, really nice job for us. And we're playing some great team defense, and we got a really dynamic running back in Whit Marshland. So, we're just playing really, really well.
We got a little bit of a bone to pick here with you. You're not the favorite of our producer Cole Raring, since you guys took a 26-3 pounding to William Paterson. He's a former William Paterson player, so he didn't exactly want me to have you on board today. But I said no, I overruled him.
Yeah, well, we usually don't play well up there at William Paterson. To be honest with you, but we had a great start, a good win against Widener, who was nationally ranked, and went up to Willie P and played really well. We usually don't play well up there, and so it was kind of a little bit of a surprise. But we had a good game that day.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have won some close games. That was your biggest win in terms of point differential. Like you said, 24-10 over Widener, 13-7 over Montclair, 14-9 over Christopher Newport. These are some tough games. Really test your will down the end of the game. How difficult is it to win these tight games, especially on the road? You guys are 3-1 on the road.
Yeah, it's been a tough go. 4 out of our first 5 away and playing some really good teams. We're kind of different than a lot of teams in college football these days. Everybody wants to score points and win games 65-63 and in double overtime, but we're really not that type of team. We knew our defense was going to be really, really good. We have a lot of experienced players there. So, we changed from the spread no huddle to more of a pro-style attack. So we're kind of, it's kind of old-fashioned, old-school football where you play some great team defense and score enough points to win the ball game. So, we decided to make a change, and it's worked out pretty well, and that's just who we are right now. So it's been working out for us.
Talking with Coach Jay Accorsi from the Rowan football team. I know, Coach, you don't want to look past Southern Virginia today, but just looking ahead real quick to next week and Wesley College, you're going to be facing a pretty good Cal product in Joey Callahan, the quarterback. He's having a tremendous career over there. I'm sure you've seen a little bit of tape on him, right?
Yeah, I mean, we played them last year, so obviously, we know a lot about them. This is their first year in the conference with us. We played them for a long time and then kind of got away from playing them for a while, and they went in a different direction, and we went in a different direction. But, they do a great job. They get a lot of good players. They have some South Jersey players, and Callahan's very dynamic. He played pretty well against us last year. So, as I told the players, we got to worry about today in Southern Virginia before we worry about next week, because if we don't take care of business today, then next week doesn't matter. So, good football program in Wesley, very dynamic, nationally ranked, has had some great success the last few years. But again, that's the old coach speak. That's next week. we gotta worry about this week first.
What was your theme this week? Your pump up speech, anything like that? You're coming off your first loss, and that's always tough. You get on a nice roll to start the season, and then people are reading the press clippings, thinking how great they are, and you get that first loss, and it's like, hey, okay, now it's time to refocus. What was the message to the squad this week?
Well, it was just kind of like I just mentioned. It's like, everybody's talking about next week in the Wesley game because of the loss last weekend to Salisbury, but that game doesn't matter if we don't take care of business, this weekend against Southern Virginia. We're finally home. Like I said, we were 4 out of our first 5 away, kind of road warriors, but, big homecoming crowd at Rowan today. Another conference opponent in Southern Virginia. So just, trying to get back on track. They are college students. They're not getting paid at the Division III level. They're playing because they love football. They're trying to balance, school and a social life and football at the same time. So I think the guys are really, really excited. It was a spirited week in practice, and I think they're looking forward to playing in front of a large homecoming crowd today, at 2 o'clock.
Now, you guys have a pretty good contingent of Cal guys there. We mentioned a few of them: John Barillo from St. Augustine, Rafici and Clayton from Spirit, Henchy of Yapsagami, Stokes of Oakcrest, guy like John Brenner from Mainland. What do you like about these Cape Atlantic League guys, and how important is that to your recruiting to get some of these local guys to stay local?
Yeah, it started when we had Pat Lancetta join us a few years ago, who had coached with his brother at Hamilton, with Pete, and had coached in the Cal League. And, he really was the one that kind of spearheaded us kind of recruiting more in that area. When I took over as head coach, I wanted to make sure in South Jersey, a young man was looking at Rowan as an option. So we really concentrated on that in recruiting. Now that, Pat's brother Pete, left Hamilton and he's with us now, we have, more of a relationship with all the coaches in the Cal and in all of South Jersey. So it's really benefited us. I don't think a lot of scholarship schools come in the area, which I'm certainly not advocating for them to do so. But again, there's a lot of great football in South Jersey. There's a lot of tremendous football in the Cal. So, we're just trying to get the best players that we can to fit what we do and who we are as an institution. And you've mentioned it. I think the recent success has been we've been able to get some really, really good South Jersey players and some Cal players in particular.
Now, talking about recruiting a little bit for some of the parents that might be listening, for a school like Rowan, Division III, what kind of guys are you looking for? What kind of characteristics best fit that kind of level football?
Yeah, well, I think a lot depends on your institution and what your institution's looking for to make sure it's a good fit. I mean, football's nice, but when it's all said and done, the young man has to develop and grow as a student and fit socially. I think it depends on, especially at the Division III level, what type of institution you have. Obviously at Rowan, we're a dynamic, ever-changing school academically with now 2 medical schools and a growing population. I know our president, Ali Hushman, has mentioned, we're going from like 15,500 students to about 25,000 students. There's buildings going up everywhere. We're building a business building, an engineering building. So I think at our place, it's very easy in that you're going to get a great education. You're going to be a part of a very dynamic school in Rowan University. It's going to open up a lot of doors for you, and you're going to be able to participate in a high quality, high level national Division III football program. And I think it's easy. It's not really a sell. I mean, I would be very happy if my kids ended up going to Rowan just because of all the great things that are going on. So when you have that, I think it just makes it natural to attract those type of young men. And I think that the players we've been able to attract are those that want to do really special things, not just football. They want to do it socially, be a part of a dynamic environment, and at the same time academically. And I think with the programs we're adding academically and all the things that go with it, I think it's an easy sell. And again, I don't even say it's a sell. I think it's just revealing to the young men who we're about, what type of institution we are, and do they want to be a part of something really special. And I think it's really, really helped us the last few years in particular.
Good stuff, Coach. We're up against a break here. I appreciate you taking a few minutes this morning, and good luck today against Southern Virginia.
Thank you very much. Again, game time's 2 o'clock. There are plenty of tickets left, so the more the merrier. And again, thank you very much for having me. We greatly appreciate it.
Outstanding. Great day for college football. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, thank you. Talk to you later.
All right, thank you. That was Coach Jay Accorsi from the Rowan football team. They got a big homecoming game today at 2 o'clock against Southern Virginia University, so good luck to the Profs.